I really wasn't going to make a video today. I don't have anything super specific to talk about, but I have a few different things going on that I thought you might be interested in seeing. Some of this follows on to the coco coir I've been talking about, but there's also quite a few other little things that we can discuss in this short video. So let's get started. This is a really small area that I'm working in, so I can't really show or present the way I would like, but we'll just take a walk through and see what's going on. All right, let's start with what's growing on top of my refrigerator here. This is a Green Joy grow box. I've shown a review on this quite a while ago, and after I used it then, I didn't really use it again after that. I kept meaning to, and I just never got to it. So recently, I decided let's grow some lettuce. And this time, rather than using the nutrients that came with it, I'm using general hydroponics, which is something I really like. I think I'd have to go back and look at my previous video of using this, but I think it works better than the nutrients that came with this kit. But hey, at least it comes with some nutrients, right? I think this is Butter Crunch. They're all the same. Look at that root growth. That's beautiful. Some are smaller than others because some of them just didn't really do well. It has nothing to do with, believe it or not, it has nothing to do with where they are in this box. It has to do with how they germinated before I put these in. And so what I used, you can see easily on this one, is these come with some little foam blocks that I didn't really like. And so I took some, this is rock wool, and these were like in cubes, and I just took a razor blade and cut them up into these little chunks, and they're working awesome for in here. I have a couple more back here that they're not really doing anything. I might just replace some of these smaller ones with something else. But yeah, that's how my lettuce is doing. I don't know exactly how long it's been growing. I'll have to go, I did take some pictures early on. I'll have to go look at the dates of those pictures and see. Now you may remember that I've been showing a lot of growing with coco coir lately, and it's kind of something I've become a bit of a fan of. That doesn't mean I'm always going to be a fan, because I change as I go, but I just wanted to, this is really the main reason I wanted to make this video, is to show these two trays. They're just phenomenal. Here's some red garnet amaranth. It's just such a nice tray of amaranth. There's no dampen off at all. I'm starting to get some good first true leaves in here, which I like to grow amaranth like about as big as I can as a microgreen, because it just doesn't have any weight to it. So if you can grow it bigger, then better. And this is some mammoth red rock cabbage. And you see it's getting kind of tall. It's starting to, you know, because I'm in a shallow tray, it's really starting to, you know, bulk out. But one thing I wanted to show, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, is look at the color. See how the edges of the leaves are like a nice purple? Like, this is just a phenomenal tray. And the leaves, the cutting leaves, are really large. So, you know, I've grown mammoth red rock cabbage plenty of times, but I've never had a tray that looks quite that nice. And that's like 2 weeks too. This isn't like a quick grow. Here I have something that so far is being kind of a fail, but that's really my fault. This is carrot. I've never grown carrot microgreens before, and they were doing great, really starting to germinate really well. And then I put a humidity dome, just a clear humidity dome over them. And where I put them, I think I may have burnt some of the little sprouts. So I'll show you where I put that in a minute, and you can be the judge if you think that's what killed it. But I do. I'll try again and see what happens. Let's talk a little bit about this light. This is an Active Grow LED light. It's a 6-tube light. It's way overkill for what I'm doing here, but it's also a big factor of why these trays look like this. So I've been growing it with all 6 lights on. I have it off right now for the video because 3 of the lights are the blurple, or whatever you want to call it. Turn those on. And so I've been growing like that with all 6 lights on. Way too much light, or maybe even too much energy, but the microgreens love it. So I've been growing it like that. And so what this is just coco coir. All 3 trays are just coco coir. But what I do is I mix in, I use one, I think it's tablespoon of this Maxi Grow per gallon of water. And after I grow, or after I unstack them, the first time I water them, I start using this every time. And I'm sorry, it's my mistake. It's 1 teaspoon per gallon of water is what I've been using. And it's been working phenomenal. I really like that. I've been using that stuff for many years. I originally was growing actual just hydroponics, and that's what I started with. I don't have a ton of experience with different nutrients. I just found that was so easy to use that I just never really changed it up, and so I swear by it. All right, moving on to my regular microgreens trays. I have this, you can see I need to clean off my lights. They're getting kind of dirty from above. I have 2 racks stacked like this, and the reason I did this is for a few reasons. 1, I don't have a ton of space in this room, and 2 is for what's going to be going on up here. But let's talk about what's going on down here. So here I've got some peas. These are just speckled peas, and I see people are talking all the time about how they're growing without any grow medium when they grow their peas, and I wanted to try that myself. I never actually gave that a shot. And so this is my first time trying that. So I have these mesh trays. So it's a mesh tray inside of a, tray without holes. And what I did is I lined it with a paper towel because my mesh tray, the holes are too big and the peas would have fallen through. And what I'm finding though, is that my paper towels are too strong. So very few roots are finding their way through the paper towel. And that's making a little bit harder for them to grow. They are looking okay. These still have a few days to go, and I think they're going to come into it, and they'll be good enough. But I wouldn't use the paper towel method again. It just isn't doing that great. And these are just 2 trays of broccoli. They're doing pretty good. They're still early, so they're not really popping yet. These will be closer to that cabbage when I get ready to harvest these. And back there is some Mizuna mustard. Now, I get all my seeds from True Leaf Market, and I almost never have a problem. And when I did a mustard experiment, I showed like 6 different kinds or something like that. And Mizuna was one of them that just did not germinate very well. And I actually think it might just be that seed. Not a knock on True Leaf Market. I mean, it happens to any company. Once in a while you get a seed batch. It's just not great. That's my 3rd time growing it, and it just, I don't know. I haven't had good results with it. That is still young. It will grow better, but it's never going to be perfect. I think that was one of the only ones that I just didn't do well. Up here, I have this massive grow light. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. I'll put the name in the video when I remember what it is, or look at the back of it. I think it's Unit Farm, but I'll put in more information. There'll be a link in the description too. So I used that light already a couple times, or once, and I only used it on microgreens, which it's way overkill for that. It's too much light for microgreens, even though it will grow them just fine. The idea though is that I will be using it for peppers and tomatoes. So I've got 2 different kinds of tomatoes here. They're both determinate tomatoes, so that plants will stay small. And then I've got 3 jalapeno peppers that, if I look down in the hole, I can see, I don't know if you can see, I can see that a couple of the seeds have sprouted, but I don't know if they're going to do all right or not. Those seeds are at least 3 years old, maybe older. And then over here, I have some pink lipstick chard. So this is another reason that I love coco coir. So coco coir is nice and light and it doesn't clump up. And I explained that in other videos. It doesn't clump up as bad as some soils do. So I covered all this seed with a nice light coating of the coco coir. And then I stacked them until most of the seeds were starting to kind of poke up, but they weren't all. And then I put a clear humidity dome over this and left it like that for like 3 or 4 days. And yeah, they're doing great. You know, there's a couple seed holes here and there, but not much at all. And because the coco coir didn't clump up, I didn't have any big chunks falling back on top and killing these. And these don't need to be underneath this light either, but I just put them there because I got the light on for these tiny little tomatoes anyways. And so I was curious how the light would do with something like this. I plan on growing these probably another week, and maybe I'll give an update on what they look like at that point. But yeah, so far, chard is something that's a tricky microgreen to grow. Some people have difficulty with them. I know I have, along with beets, and cilantro could be another one that's kind of similar in a way in how the seed holes are an issue. And the chard, the coco coir is making that a non-issue. Now, speaking of that light, that is where, oh, actually you can see, I had the camera just right and I could actually see the name there. Yeah, it's Unit Farm. That's the light that I had the carrots under with the humidity dome. And even though the light doesn't put off a ton of heat, it's almost like the UV rays somehow create a greenhouse environment. So when I had the humidity domes on here, when I would lift them up, you could feel this massive hot air coming out. And I think I burnt those carrots, but we'll see about that when I grow them again. That's going to do it for this quick little update. Kelly Go Lightly on Facebook, who watches all my videos on YouTube, kind of asked me to make a video when she saw I put an update about the cabbage and the amaranth. So this video is for you, Kelly. If anybody's ever interested in any of the stuff that I show in my videos, there's links usually in the description. Usually they're affiliate links, and I get a kickback on anything that you purchase through those links at no extra cost to you. It helps me out, and if you don't want to use my links, that's totally cool too. I just like to be honest with you and let you know that I do have affiliate links. And if you use them, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice night. Have a nice day. Whenever you're watching this, hope it's just a nice time for you. Thanks.